Humans have always taken their place in the food chain for granted. Until now. Since the era of the dinosaurs, they have thrived on land and sea. They survived the meteor that killed the dinosaurs and remained frozen in glaciers since the Ice Age. But in the 21st century, as global temperatures rose, the age of man approached its final hour. Man-eating toads. Impervious to bullets and raw firepower, conventional weaponry was useless against the amphibious foe. In mankind's darkest hour, a glimmer of hope stood alone in a humble Chinese kitchen. An Asian grandma, haunted by memories of the past, thinks back to that moment nearly 50 years ago. It was a sunny day after school. As the girl was walking home, she heard a faint noise coming from within the tall grass. A frail kitten, no more than several months old, left abandoned by the river. The girl reached into her bag for an uneaten rice ball and fed it to the kitten, who ate it graciously. For the next several weeks, the girl fed the cat and promised that one day she would take it home for adoption. But that day never came. As the girl was walking home, she saw the cat's collar laying on the ground, missing its familiar bell. No matter how many times she called, the cat was nowhere to be seen, when suddenly, a large toad jumped out of the grass. The toad looked up at the girl and coughed, spitting out a bell, hitting the ground with a clang. A moment of realization hit the girl, as she hit the toad in a fit of rage. The girl held the collar, devastated by the loss of her furry friend. From the wake of devastation, a killer was born, hell-bent on the need to slay every last toad to walk the earth. Under the tutelage of a master chef, she quickly developed a talent for slicing tough meat. As the years passed, she became known as the Toad Butcher of Chinatown. Holding the collar in her hand, she knew what had to be done. It was time for revenge. Grandma walked through the streets of Chinatown with murderous intent, as people screamed for their lives. She charged forward with lightning speed as a horde of toads surrounded her. Onlookers watched in disbelief as she hacked away with deadly precision. Walking away unscathed from the skirmish, the real test was yet to come, as she came face to face with a toad larger than an elephant. Amongst the crowd of people, a girl screamed as the toad's tongue lashed towards her like a giant whip. In the nick of time, Grandma sliced the toad's tongue cleanly in half, saving the young girl's life. The child hid behind her savior, thankful to be alive. After reassuring the girl, Grandma readied her fighting stance and leapt into the air with astounding force. The giant toad croaked in pain as Grandma viciously mutilated the toad into bloody pieces. Grandma stood victorious over the dead toad's corpse and heard the sound of a helicopter approaching overhead. A soldier stepped out and walked towards the scene of carnage. He beckoned the grandma and little girl to come with him. They ascended to the sky, a moment to recharge. They arrived at the White House. Grandma was about to meet the President of the United States. In desperation, the President pleaded Grandma to lend her power to the military. Anything she needed, she would have the full support of the US government. She replied, "Sharpen my knives and give me a ride." As promised, Grandma was airlifted into the heat of battle. A fearsome elderly warrior with a burning desire for vengeance against the Toad Army. Asian Grandma versus man-eating toads.